Prince Andrew's fall from grace has been so dramatic that on the face of it there is nothing left in his life beyond his family and occasional exercise. There are spells when it seems he can go days without emerging from Royal Lodge, his 30-room mansion in 98 acres of secluded grounds near Windsor, where he has lived since 2004. For successive days during the Open Championship at Troon the other week, for example, there was no sign of him. It was tempting to think he was holed up inside, watching wall-to-wall golf alone. The real story is very different, according to his friends, but locals who see him out and about occasionally in the Windsor area think Andrew is becoming ever more reclusive and lonely. One source suggested the late Queen's second son and third child looked desperate for company. You used to see him going up to the stables to go riding, and he'd be talking nonstop to the grooms and they'd rarely be saying anything back. You wondered what they got out of it, he said. The Duke of York does not go to the castle and its stables so much these days. Duke's pursuits. Instead, he has taken to having the horses delivered to a remote part of Windsor Great Park, where he can ride without being watched by photographers or bumping into the public. There are other discreet outings that locals and others see. Andrew, who was forced to stand down from royal duties in 2019 amid an angry public backlash to a car crash television interview in which he tried to counter claims he slept with a 17-year-old victim of sex trafficking, remains an ardent golfer. He plays regularly at Swinley Forest Golf Club at Winkfield Row near Ascot, popular with diplomats and often described as one of the most exclusive and private golf clubs in Britain. His most regular companions in public are his ex-wife Sarah, Duchess of York, who shares Royal Lodge with him despite their 1996 divorce, their 2 daughters and their families, and his bodyguard, understood to be funded privately by his brother the King. Andrew and Sarah, both 64, are regularly spotted heading out for dog walks. They pick remote and inaccessible places to exercise their dogs, who include 2 of the late Queen's corgis. I have 7 dogs and 2 of them are corgis, 5 of them are Norfolk Terriers, Fergie told American Celebrity magazine Us Weekly in May. They're all very lovely and very, very loved. That then is the view from outside, the one the press and public see, a disgraced, reclusive royal getting out occasionally but essentially confined to his home for much of the week. Social circle. But inside the royal circle, the couple's friends laugh at the suggestion that Andrew is isolated and lonely. They paint instead a picture of a man who, like many people in their 60s, is enjoying spending more time on leisure in his family. He is very family-focused, said one, while others describe Royal Lodge as a happy family home with a constant stream of visitors. If the Duke is ever downcast, it is the Duchess first and foremost who picks him up, according to friends. She's always been able to cheer him up, says one, of the effervescent, irrepressible Fergie, who has had her own turmoil to go through this year after battles with skin cancer and breast cancer. She and Andrew have previously described each other as Britain's happiest divorced couple. They have found comfort in each other, although their loyal friends insist there is no rekindled romance there in spite of occasional speculation that they might eventually rood. Lives with ex-wife. The Duke and Duchess have offices at opposite ends of the John Nash-designed house but share the main living areas, the one kitchen, dining room, and the mansion's centerpiece, the drawing room or saloon. What Fergie has done, friends say, is turn 7-bedroom Royal Lodge, which dates from 1662 although most of it was rebuilt in the 1830s and 1930s, into a real family home loved equally by the couple's two daughters, Princess Beatrice, 35, and Princess Eugenie, 34, and their husbands and children. Regular visitors find the elegant, Gothic drawing room is usually buried in a mountain of plastic toys these days to entertain the grandchildren. Beatrice and her husband Edoardo Mapelli Mazzi, 40, have a daughter Sienna, 2, and his son Wolfie, 8, while Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank, 38, have two sons, August, 3, and Ernest, 1. In spite of the children's chaos, visitors report that the house interiors are in immaculate condition. Outside it is a different story. Scaffolding has been installed to deal with large patches of flaking paint on the exterior that clearly need money spent on them.